And we don't know if that guy is a minority or white passing. But everyone close the shutters.
Just in case, you gotta be safe.
Just in case, yeah. Yeah. He's just a little bit too nice in the neighborhood, yeah.
We're good people.
I am full.
That small boy is drunk!
I'm drunk! D-R-U-N-K.
There's only one beer left.
I drank the vodka. I was intoxicated. I drank all of those days in excess.
What you drink, dude?
White Russian, thanks.
Welcome to the Local Drunks Podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Saul.
And that's the end of the pregame.
It's all about lumbar support over here.
That's what I'm fighting for my life back here, bro.
Dude, you gotta
These
get it.
stacks
Do
and
it.
pillars.
Hey, everybody, this is Saul.
This is Daniel,
And this is the
Local Drunks Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. You can catch on Instagram at
Local Drunks Pod?
Twitter or X, FKA Twitter.
Local Drunks Pod.
What else are we on? Any social media, Snapchat,
All of them.
TikTokers.
All the ones that I don't
anything.
check.
Yes, and then if you have any stories or anything you'd like to share with us via email, you can email us at
LocalDrunksPod
gmail.com.
I think you might need to turn up your mic a little bit. I'm seeing some green over here.
Ooh. Is that better?
Maybe. Mike, can you close that door for me? Jamie, can you close that door?
Jesus Christ.
Por favor.
Is
That means
better?
please.
Oh, yeah, that's better. I just got to get closer. Jesus Christ. We have one official audience member today.
Yeah, yeah.
It's our first official audience member. Thank you for
We
joining
just
us,
hired
man.
on for production.
Mhm.
Welcome to the team, Maya.
There we
And
go.
then, of course, you're noticing a third here. A special guest joining us, DeAndré Crenshaw.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, we're going to switch things up a little bit here. And we're going to talk about sake. We're going to do more in-depth, more educational-based. And then, but of course, talk about who you are and how we got here. How's that sound?
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
Perfect. All right. So, how should we? We're going to skip
the
news.
intro to Give Me Some More from Busta Rhymes just started.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
shorty chilling in the crib in the hood. And then it's like, that's what he just starts off as.
Damn,
And
there
just
you
keeps
go.
going.
There you go.
Sorry. I've just
So
aged myself. 'cause
we
that
all
song
have
was in
ADHD.
96. Yes, we are all over the place. So yeah, thank you for joining us. We actually did pick these up from Umami Mart, which DeAndré or Dre.
Do you want to mention that you were there?
Yeah, so I work for Umami Mart. It's a business local to Oakland, California. Yeah, we specialize in Japanese alcohol, spirits, barware, and we have some home goods and things like that. We also have a bar in the back, and we have a little cafe service that we do on Saturday, brunch hours.
Ooh, fancy. That's how we met, actually. Going in there for a tasting, and then I was like, damn, this guy knows his shit. And so I was like, hey, man, you want to come through and just, like, hang out with two fucking idiots? Talk about some booze? I know that you are... your specialty is whiskey, is that correct?
Yeah, for the most part.
Japanese, all?
Mostly all whiskey, yeah. I do the
Awesome.
class at Umami Mart, just a basic class to just go over, like, whiskey in general, a little bit of the history, and then, like, an example of most of the major styles that I could get my hands on.
Nice.
And talk about them, little tasting notes and things like that.
Even American in there? What do you
Yeah.
bust out for your American tasting?
We get a bourbon, a rye, a wheater, which I snuck in there.
Nice.
We leave out Canada and Ireland, unfortunately. Then we have
You got any
three
Canadian club in
scotches
there?
from... What's up?
You got any Canadian club in there?
Nah, I thought about it. I was
Yeah.
thinking some 777.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then three scotches in there, three Japanese whiskeys in there.
Damn,
Talk
dude.
about a little bit of each of those.
How often are you doing this tasting or this class?
The next one is actually next month.
No shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, look out for that on the Umami Mart website.
I might try to sign up for that one, actually. It's always good to, do a similar situation, but reinforcing and then getting more
definitely.
information.
Yep. And even, like, teaching is, like, you got to, like, you got to fill in your knowledge gaps. There's a lot of stuff that you know in passing because you may have heard, but you're like, let me verify if that's actually correct.
That's,
or if that's a real fact or whatever. So.
Right. That's a very valid point, because I hear some people out here saying some shit, and I'm like, what are you saying right
Where
now?
did you get that from?
Where did you pull
That's
that
not
from?
right
Cheers.
at all. That is demonstrably incorrect.
Why are you saying this out loud?
Yeah. So if you were to veer towards one style of whiskey in general,
Mm-hmm.
like what would you veer towards? Like if you had to pick, let's do a top three. Top three whiskeys
Ooh.
or you could even say styles. Like,
Yeah.
What would you actually like
For
if you only had to drink something, 3 things for the rest of your life?
Yeah, for styles, I would probably go Rise and probably like Highland scotches or Speyside scotches, just because their versatility.
Nice.
The thing with me is my drinking changes by the season.
Gotcha.
And I can kind of tell when I'm going into a new phase by whatever I was drinking before will start to taste bitter and harsh. It's kind of interesting. Like, I'll know when my palate is changing for whiskeys or for cocktails or brandies when I try something that I was drinking before and it just doesn't taste good to me at all. Also can change depending on what I've been eating or drinking that day too. But definitely, like, there's certain seasons, like I've kind of noticed that in the spring or like warmer months, I'm doing more cocktails, like maybe white wines and ciders, and then I'll drink like lighter whiskeys, some rums. And then as the weather starts to cool down, I'll go more into grape spirits, more like ryes, like heavier, like smoky scotches and things like that.
Nice.
So it just depends on the seasons for me.
I think that's a great approach to drinking for sure, as opposed to mine just drink whatever, whenever kind of approach.
Just whatever's within reach.
Which is mostly the things that I've gotten from work for free. But hey, I can't complain, especially in this economy. So yeah, the whiskey is your specialty, but you also, as you can probably see in front of us here, everyone, sake.
Yes, so I am a sake advisor at Umami Mart. I had to take some classes and drink a lot of sake and
sounds
read a
unfortunate.
lot about it.
That sounds real rough.
Hard life.
Yeah, and have a lot of conversations with people regarding
Hard
sake.
conversations.
Hard talks with people about sake.
But I mean, you're talking to producers. I mean, they have connections, right?
Yeah, definitely. We've definitely like met tons of brewers. I've been to a few breweries and things like that. So yeah.
Damn, that's pretty sick. All right, so we're going to talk about what do we have here. Let's talk about what we have here first. How does that sound?
So we have 4 different sakes. I've tried to pick some that are representative not only of a style, but kind of a tasting profile that you can find in certain sakes. And I've chosen these ones because I think some of these overlap, and I can talk about some other styles within these styles.
Okay.
So should we get started drinking?
Let's do it.
All right.
Do it.
For sure.
All right.
Got to do it now so that way I ain't too buzzed later on.
Oh.
It's the drunk whale?
Drunken whale.
I've always wondered what this tastes like. I always see it everywhere. It's like the whale. What does the whale signify for Japanese culture? I always see.
I have no idea.
Okay. All right.
It's just a very,
Harmony.
probably because the gentle giant of the sea.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know. Something like that.
it's nice. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. It's like, we got to bring up the controversies. What do you mean by Japanese whiskey and a product of Japan whiskey?
Okay, so I guess we can go into a little bit. I'm not going to talk too much about sake history because that's not my forte.
That's all right.
I'll try not to talk on things that I don't know too much about. But
Hey.
suffice to say that sake's been around for hundreds, if not, I don't know, maybe thousands. But it's been around for a very, very long time. And I believe one of the first sakes that was kind of like found, I don't remember the Japanese term for it, but it's called mouth chew sake. And they would essentially get, they use the term virgins. I like to call what they really are young girls, chew sake and spit it into like an urn. And the enzymes in their saliva would break down the rice particles, and then wild yeast would get in there and ferment, and it'll create this bubbling brew that tasted okay. And it's another way to use all this excess rice that we have. And then similar to like brewing beer and making spirits, sake production after a while was chiefly in the hands of monks, like the religious orders and the Buddhist temples and things like that. So, yeah. And then sake has been a lot of regional things also with sake, just like also with Japanese food. A lot of regions have specialties similar to wine and things like that as well. So the first one we're drinking is Suige, the Drunken Whale. I don't know too much about the regions of these sakes, but this one is from Kochi Prefecture. They're known for some of their drier styles. This one I picked it because it's, like I said, a drier sake that's a little bit more on the ricey characteristics of sake.
No, when you say ricey,
Like it has notes of like cooked rice if you made rice in a pan and you just like took a big whiff. And also if you're reading sake labels, there's a lot of terminology on them, so I'll have to go over that too. So this is called Suige Tokubetsu Junmai, part of the alphabet suit of sake. So Junmai means pure rice. There's 2 different branches of like sake production essentially. There's Junmai, which means the only ingredients are water, rice, yeast, and koji.
Wow.
Side note, koji is a type of mold that is used for saccharifying things. So it turns complex sugars into simple sugars. You grow koji on rice to turn this rice into sugar so it can be eaten by yeast. You grow koji or you use rice koji when you're making sweet potato shochu to help break down the sweet potatoes so you can turn that into a ferment. Same with like soybeans and things like that to make miso. So it's very versatile. You can also use it to like tenderize meat and cooking and things like that. So koji is quite versatile, and it's native to Japan.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Holy
Are there
shit.
different styles of koji?
There are. So there's different strains of koji. There's white koji, yellow koji, and black koji. So yellow koji is chiefly used, I believe, in sake production and in like miso and things like that. So breaking down soybeans. White koji is usually used in shochu production. So shochu is the national distilled spirit of Japan, usually confused with soju. They're not the same thing. They're quite different. That's a whole nother world to explore.
On the next episode.
Yeah. We're going to be here for 4 hours, folks.
Right.
This is.
Need to take a sip.
One of us is going to be fucking snoring on the couch over there.
No, we still got more producers to go through.
And then there's black koji, which is native to Okinawa. And black koji is used in the production of awamori. Awamori is a specific type of shochu, specifically from Okinawa. It has that geographical distinction, similar to like cognac and armagnac.
Okay.
Fancy.
So tokubetsu just means special. You see tokubetsu on a label, the brewer did something a little bit different to this batch, and it's nice.
Okay. Make it fancy.
Yeah.
Extra spit.
They licked a little bit on the
There
label.
you go.
Yeah, exactly. Where
That's a wild way of,
Where are their lips? Yeah, where are their
distilling
lips
it.
on there? Yeah.
So what do y'all think of this one?
I like it. It's very light, very crisp.
This is a perfect starter sake, a good sake pair, easy to pair with food. One I call like a sake you don't got to think about. The type of sake that I'll just watch a movie, drink some of this, and eat a bowl of peanuts and chill out.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Is it? It's particularly dry, right? Okay.
Yeah. There are
This is the
sakes that
style.
get drier than this, but
Damn.
it's pretty good.
That's crazy.
It's not overcomplicated, so you definitely, I think it would be like I think you could drink it by itself, or you can enjoy it with like food or something like
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
Snacks,
I mean, this in a
like you
sushi
said.
restaurant, I could see easily. Just some nigiri.
But it's not hot. Just fucking with you.
There's hot sake is great. It has a kind of a bad rap because of all the not good sake that was originally sold in the U.S. But now there's sakes that are made to be paired warm. Actually, the Tengumai is amazing warm.
No way.
Well, we can't do that right now. But
No,
that's
yeah.
something that's for your own self-study.
There you go. There you go. Research.
After drinking after this.
Y'all got any questions so far?
Maya, any questions? See you back there. She's over here like this. Plotting.
Yeah. She's just trying to figure out what we're going to drink. She's just trying to figure out when we're going to get into the next one. So what got you into spirits in general?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, yeah. So it's funny. I was one of those kids. I was like, I'm never going to drink. And lo and behold, years later. But I remember very distinctly, I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and we were in his room, like, doing some gaming and chatting and, you know, kicking it. And his roommate pokes his head and he's like, hey, you want a martini? And I'm like, for sure. Like, sure. I knew what it was. I'd heard of it. And he made a gin martini. And up until that point, I had only had a couple cocktails, you know, newly 21. Everything was like, you know, syrupy, sugary, sweet. I'd done some shots here and there. I'd had some Budweiser and fucking hated.
Yeah.
And had this super clean, partially like savory drink. And I was like, yo, what is this? Gotta learn how to make this. So bought the ingredients, and then I discovered liquor.com's YouTube channel. And I spent hours just watching their content over and over again. These short 2-minute videos of how to make certain cocktails, fairly highly produced, starring different like well-known bartenders around the world making these drinks. And I just would do research by the ingredients, learn how to make a drink.
Nice.
And then if you can have this in your mind of a large pink Victorian house that has a couple stairs leading up, and for some reason there's a transmutation circle from Full Metal Alchemist drawn in the center in chalk that for some reason never goes away. You walk inside the front door, and there's a piano, old, that no one but me can play for some reason, even though the owners have one. There's a bunch of foils and fencing sabers on the wall, because that's who owned the house, was the local fencing instructor.
No.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
a long table, in the dining room, and then there is a staircase leading down into the basement. In that basement is a bunch of taxidermy stuff accumulated by one of the housemates, and you can hear the faint sounds of jazz music playing in the background and see a light in a large room open and hear me shaking drinks for my friends.
Hell yeah.
Back in the day.
That is awesome.
Nice.
And that's what that led to.
That's a speakeasy I'd like to go to. The taxidermy.
Yeah, super
Damn,
cool.
dude, that's awesome. What a great story. And then you just studied from there? You're just like...
I did. Yeah, after that, when everyone else was going to bars, I was watching videos and reading books and just trying to learn about alcohol in general, and just got really into just studying this stuff.
Mixing.
I had another distinct memory of my roommate at the time, later on in college. I think he was like trying to do something with like modding a game, and he'd been doing that for a good 30 minutes or something like that. And I was sitting there smelling a whiskey. He was like, "You've been smelling that whiskey this whole time?" I was like, "Oh, right." Just
You're
trying
like,
to
"Yeah,
pick
I'm
out
busy,
flavors
brother."
and stuff like
He
that.
let go of the nipple. He's like, I guess I'll start drinking. I guess I'll start drinking
oh,
this
right,
thing. Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Why are your pants off? Shut up. I'm enjoying my
I'm having
whiskey.
fun.
Getting
Yeah,
notes.
You spend
notes,
you spend your time on games. I
Yeah,
spend my
yeah.
time doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, there you go.
Jesus. Okay.
Personal preferences.
Yeah, throw stones much, bud?
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so where this is clean, crisp, straightforward.
Yeah.
What does the next one take us into?
So the next one's going to take us into the crisp, clean, and more fruity.
Ooh.
So let's go ahead and get into this one.
Now, I know that polish is a big factor
Yes.
in a lot of these.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
does that just go?
Yeah, this one's also a little sparkle. Got some sparkle on it.
Okay. What we celebrating?
So yes, sake is also designated by its polish rate. Ooh, excuse me.
Of course.
The term is called seimai buai. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's polished. And so thinking about a grain of rice, we're going to use this as a prop. So imagine this is a grain of rice. So around the grain of rice is a bunch of fats and oils. And in the center of that grain of rice is a core of starch. So when you polish the sake or the sake rice, you remove more of those fats and oils from around, getting closer to that starchy core. The fats, I say, are where the bolder flavors are. The starchy core is where the more delicate flavors are. And the sake will change depending on its polishing rate.
Okay.
The seimai buai goes by, it always is difficult for me to wrap my head around, but it's the rice remaining. So junmais are polished to quote unquote 70%, meaning that 30% of the rice has been polished away.
Okay.
And then we have a junmai ginjo, which is this nabashima that we have. It's starting to get more floral, more fruity, a little bit more
smell that.
crisp and clean. So junmai ginjos have, I believe, 60% polished away.
Wow.
And then there's also, we didn't get one for this because I think this also covers the category of Junmai Dai Ginjo. Dai meaning great ginjo, quite literally. So great ginjos are getting even more delicate, sometimes more fruity and things like that. Junmais, which are the lowest polish rate, tend to have more of the bolder flavors. So if it's a fruity sake that focuses more on fruit, you're going to get more of those bolder fruit flavors. If it's a sake that is more savory, because a lot of junmais can also have savory characteristics, which we'll get into with this choryo at the end, they'll have bolder savory flavors.
Interesting. So the boldness comes from the fats and the proteins.
Correct. Or at least in my interpretation. There's also, I was going to say there's two branches. There's the junmai, and then there's the side called aruten. And the aruten is a designation for sakes that have a little bit of brewer's alcohol added to them.
Oh.
It increases the, getting away from the term mouthfeel, the viscosity.
Getting away from it.
Yeah, right. The viscosity, it increases the viscosity. It preserves floral, delicate flavors.
So does it make it more smooth?
It makes it very
Had to hit him with
smooth.
it.
Smooth.
This one in particular, very smooth.
Oh, my goodness.
Smooth like
Man.
butter.
Unabrasive.
With a V, smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that
one-
fruit.
Yeah, this
Hey, you
one-
definitely get that fruit like that, kind of like a passion fruity type
Yep.
of nose.
Very
yeah.
tropical. It's got
Yeah.
that little sparkle on the tongue. It's kind of nice.
How does it become effervescent? Is this like a second
It's natural.
ferment?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think it might
Just
happen
for
in the bottle,
fermentation?
like a little bit of fermentation in the bottle.
Okay.
So also too, the other misnomer is sake is often called rice wine. That's the misnomer. It's closer related to beer. It's brewed from a grain. And I think the misnomer happens with the word shu in Japan, because I think shu is usually a general term for alcohol in Japan, And if you want sake, you ask for nihonshu. If you go to Japan and ask for sake, you'll actually get some shochu.
Oh, really?
Like they might slide you a glass of hard stuff. So that's why some people go to Japan and try sake, and they get a glass of shochu, and they're like, "Oh, it's gross! Like it was super strong."
Yeah.
Like yeah, because unfortunately you used the wrong term when you were there.
Oh, good to know.
That's interesting.
Nihonshu, literally Japanese alcohol.
Nihonshu. Now I know. Eventually, I think 27, I'll be going.
27?
Yeah.
When you turn 27?
That's when I graduate.
Oh,
No, I
that's
turn
good.
27. I'll never turn 27. I'm stuck at 16, dude. That is nice.
That's really good. What do you think over there, audience?
Forever young.
There we go.
Kid tested, brother approved.
Yeah. So you mentioned cocktails before. Do you have like a cocktail you like to veer towards? Like, oh yeah, what do you
A
like
lot of
making, and then
sours.
what do you like to drink?
Yeah, maybe usually sours, like a good daiquiri, like a classic daiquiri, like a bee's knees if I got some gin on hand. I'm pretty simple. I don't really do too much. Especially usually I'm at home. I got lemon. I got some simple syrup. What's in the cabinet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 ounces of that, 1 ounce of this,
Yeah.
half ounce of that. Shake it up. We're good.
Keep it
Put
simple.
it in my nice glass.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah. And I've
His
been
one
on
nice,
a little
his
bit
one
of a
nice
cider
glass.
kick.
This is my nice glass.
I
No
was
one
like,
touch
"Where's
it.
my nice glass?"
Yeah.
I just was like, I'm an adult. I can buy nice glasses again.
That's a great feeling.
my
there.
nice sheets.
That's a dude, that's a fantastic feeling right there.
It sure is.
It's like I made it.
Right?
I made it.
I got sheets, mama. Look at
Yeah,
me. They
dude.
all match.
800 thread
Yeah, I'm
count.
not, I'm not sleeping on towels anymore.
Soft.
These are made of linen.
I could feel all my hangnails, all of them. So one thing I forgot to ask even before we started: how do you drink sake?
Oh, so sip it. Yeah.
Just sip it?
Give it a swirl.
Just
treat
swirl it like
treat
wine?
it kind of like wine, yeah.
Like rice wine?
Yeah, a little bit. You can also knock it back too. Like it's pretty versatile.
He just gets up and walks out.
Yeah, I can't.
Tired of this shit.
Sick of
Nah,
you
nah.
motherfuckers.
The guy with the bottles and walks out.
Wait, I paid for that.
You don't deserve this. What the fuck did you pay for it?
Now, one of the things I like about sake too is actually like it's not as pretentious as wine. It's closer to like the beer culture, where people like drink it in abundance, drink it with people, like drink it with food. I remember Yoko, one of the owners for Umami Mart, she'd gone to Kochi Prefecture, where the suige comes from.
Wow.
And she was going on different tours, and one of the tours, like she'd talk to the brewers, and one of them was like, "Oh, where are you going next?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Suige after this." And they're like, "Why didn't you tell us? Like, we could have had lunch together." Like, apparently all the brewers just like hang out.
Damn.
And they're cool with each other.
Like, yeah, that's my
and
homie.
then sometimes, yeah. And then when I went to Fukushima, it was a similar deal. There, we went to which was it, Yamagata Shuzo? One of the breweries. Either way, one of the breweries. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go have lunch with the brewers down the street." Like,
Sick.
what? We don't have to get on the bus. They're like a couple blocks away.
Damn.
That's
what a
super cool.
sense of community.
Like, so yeah, definitely.
Made for sharing. Made for drinking with friends. Okay.
Are there any like beefs between breweries sometimes? Like,
I
know.
imagine.
Could be.
I imagine.
I ain't there long enough to walk up in the wrong hood. I don't know.
For sure, though. Yeah, you know, humans.
you
Everybody
get
gets
that sense. You're like,
That's a little
there's
tribal.
something wrong here.
something in the air.
Something
Yeah.
unsafe.
Yeah, exactly.
Spidey senses.
Why's everyone stretching? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Get in the fight. Like those, you ever watch those Japanese game shows?
Yeah.
When they're like put people in awkward situations, and one of them was like a guy that's walking down an alley, and a mob comes from this way, and then another mob comes from this way, and as they all push forward this way, and then he turns around and starts walking with him, but then the other mob comes in, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "I'm about to be in a mob fight."
Is it terrible? I've been in a situation like that.
You're like, "No, no, 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 no! How did I get here? Let me out! Let me out! I don't represent, please." All right, and then this next iteration.
Yes. So this next one is called Tingumai. Okay, so there's quite a few things I can talk about this one too. So Tingumai, this one is a Yamahai. So Yamahais are an old style of brewing. Kimotos and Yamahais, they use a similar process. There's slight differences between them. Essentially, one of them, the mash is agitated using like these long poles to help like the fermentation process.
Okay.
And to help facilitate naturally occurring lactic acid in the brew.
Ooh.
And then one of the names, I can't remember which one designates, you'll probably have to ask Yoko, but one of them means like stop doing that. Like stop doing that other thing because we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Essentially
It's
like,
unnecessary.
Yeah, so basically they just let the brew sit and it naturally collects lactic acid. And when you think lactic, think like lactate, like like milk or milk-y. So Yamahais and Kimotos can often have like more acidic, sometimes yogurty flavors.
You can see in the color there, huh?
Yeah, and this one also, I think the jikomi is, I don't remember what that term means. I think it's what it might have been aged in or like aged in some way. But this one has some of those characteristics. And there's also a style called koshu, which is aged sake. And aged sake start getting more of that like, almost like meating or like sherry notes where it has the dried fruits or it has that mix of fruit and savoriness going on. So
I can see that leading from just the nose on this. I can see.
so much different than what
more
we just
towards
had.
sherry.
Yep, much different than what we just had.
That's crazy. And one question that we had not earlier, but I had on a tour was talking about how the lees are still such a very big part of the flavor profile for sake as opposed to like a beer or anything like that. I mean, because you don't get lactic acid in the beer. It's like mostly just the hops and that kind of flavor. But that has to do with the parallel fermentation, that the yeast stays alive?
Yes. So sake goes through, one of the reasons why sake is the highest alcohol percentage of a brewed beverage is because of the multiple stages of fermentation. They'll essentially do it in batches of yeast, water yeast, and koji, and feeding the mash over and over again. So when like essentially when one group of the food is depleted by the yeast and some of that yeast starts to die, more is added in, and it just continues to increase the alcohol content.
So it's like a sourdough starter, essentially.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I get to bust out the one $3 word in Japanese that I know is heikofuku hako, which is multiple parallel fermentation.
Damn.
I only remember it because it sounds like a Street Fighter move.
Hadouken.
Exactly.
That's a good way to remember it. Damn, this is
wild, bro.
Yeah,
This
it's
one's also
completely
really
different.
good warm. So also people think that warm sake is only for bad sake, but there are some really good sakes that are brewed and specialized in making warm sake. So definitely try some warm sakes if you can. They're great to have in the colder months. Just have some nice to sip on.
Yeah, and I feel like too, it's like counterintuitive.
You
'cause
feel the acid in your
Yeah, I
cheeks.
was gonna say that.
outside of your palate. Oh my
Yep.
god, yeah.
It's a acidy boy. I mean, like okay, like ice cream or anything else cold. You make it cold so you can kind of nerf the flavor profile or any kind of like harshness, like cold, like white wines essentially. The stringency gets turned down because it's cold and you can't taste it as much. So I feel like it's not counterintuitive to have a hot sake that's bad.
No, so sake can change depending on the temperature. There's sakes that are sometimes better room temp. There's sakes that are sometimes better warm. And the type of acid in the sake can change depending on the temperature as well. So something like this, if it were warm, we'd get a lot more of the sweetness. If it were room temp, we'd probably get a little bit more of the savoriness. Now that it's cold, we're probably getting that kind of balance of the two.
Okay. And that acid too.
Man, he's an acid man.
I'm an acid man.
I do like some good acid.
Oh yeah.
So you originally from this area, or are you from?
No, I'm from San Bernardino.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a terrible place. Never go
Anyone
there.
see?
SB?
Yeah, everyone see the light leave his eyes as he said it. He was San Bernardino.
Whatever, bro. We can't say anything. We're both from Fresno.
Cheers. Explosions in the background. Get the faraway look.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, perro?
I killed
you
him at
from?
one time.
Where you from, homie?
Oh, bang.
Please let me just drink my alcohol in peace. I came to the one bar.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, homie? You see you looking at me weird, bro. Why you sipping on that drink like that? I'm tasting. So interesting.
No, this is.
Yeah, this one has a lot going on
Similar.
for sure.
I asked our audience member whether she might just say it's good.
What's the verdict?
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
You say the parallel fermentation, is it the same strain of yeast? Or are they
Usually, yes. Yes.
So the question
I believe
was-
it's usually the same strain of yeast.
Is it the same strain of yeast that they use for the parallel fermentation to add into the, what would you call that at that point?
The mash.
The mash? It was considered
the
mash?
Moromi. So, yeah.
Moromi.
Usually the same strain of yeast, as far as I know. That would be something to play with. It's one of those things, too, where thinking about stuff like that makes my brain go in a million directions. Like, what if someone did do that? There's brewers now that are experimenting with, like, wine yeast and beer yeast and stuff like that, too, and it changes the way things come out. And it's fascinating to think about, like, just like with other stuff, like if you change the barrel that it's aged in, like it can completely change. One variable you tweak can completely change what the end product is.
Interesting. Now I want to taste all those. So for the production of actual sake itself, can we just like run through how it's made?
I can run through roughly. I don't know too much, but
That's okay, yeah.
usually starts with like the the polishing of the rice. Then the rice is steamed. They have a separate room where they grow the koji, because koji has to be grown in a very specific and temperature-controlled environment. So it's like when the head brewer is making koji, they're like in the brewery for like multiple days, like propagating it. So it's a labor-intensive process. And then you take that koji, you sprinkle it over the rice, and then you get your mash started once you add the water and the yeast once it starts breaking down. And you continue to do that until you have your sake. They throw that in a giant press that looks like a giant accordion, and depending on which style of sake they make, nigori, which is often misnomered as unfiltered sake. Unfiltered sake is a different thing. Nigori, or cloudy sake, is coarsely filtered, and they'll either leave some of the rice particles in there or they'll completely press it out, depending on which style they're going for.
Well, what's the benefits of keeping those particles and those particulates?
It's just a texture thing, and usually nigoris will have more of the residual sweetness. So it's funny to have people ask for dry sakes and be like, I really like nigoris. I'm like, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you, fam.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's a liqueur.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never actually tried one of those either, so maybe I got to pick one of those up. Does it keep the fats and the lipids as well to give it a bolder flavor?
Kind of. They're usually a little bit more just like, to me, like coconut milky sweet.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's a textural thing for sure.
Ooh. Cocktail? Would you put it in a cocktail?
You could, yeah.
Sounds
People
really nice. Daiquiri?
In your Brandy Alexander.
There you go. Yeah, throwback. All right, and for the last but not least different iteration, which one's this one that we got coming up?
Oh, so the last one is Choryo.
Choryo.
So I like this brewery a lot. This one, talk a little bit about rice, because the omachi part is part of the title. Omachi is a rice varietal. It's one of the oldest varietals of rice. One of the most common sake rice used today is called Yamada Nishiki. It produces like fruitier flavors. Omachi rice usually is more herbal and closer to savory. And I picked this one because it's this one is on what I would call it's a aged sake. It's a koshu. It's a junmai. So
hell yeah.
Covers that category of being an aged sake, and it has those savory flavors I was talking about. So this one's going to be closer to your like soy sauce and meating. Sake can get so savory. Some of them I've called like soup broth. Like it can get incredibly savory.
Seriously?
Yeah.
From the aging?
Whatever's going on, I don't know. Usually like the yeast, the koji, the rice, the brewing style.
That color too. It's clean.
Yeah, this one's gonna liquid smoke.
Damn.
Yeah, this one's much different.
I'm getting like some butane.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I think this one's also usually better room temp, but warm. I don't think I think I've tried it warm and it wasn't that good.
That's funky.
It is.
Ooh, lighter on the palate too. I wasn't expecting that. Is there an age statement on these? Does it say?
Yeah, it's on the front. It's not a statement. I think it's a brewing year.
Oh,
I think it said 2013. Is that what it said?
2013. Damn, so this is old boy, huh? What do they age it in?
Usually steel, clay, depending on the style, and then there's a style called taru sake, which is cedar, which I really, really like. And this brewery does several cedar sakes that I really like. They do a cedar sake that's also a Yamahai, so it has the cedar characteristics and that lactic acid together. That's one of my favorite sakes in the
That
shop.
sounds incredible. Next time. How much is that running though?
It's not that much. It's like $30.
No shit.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Depending on how much they're charging, it's $36.
Tariffs.
Tariffs. When are those going in effect?
Thanks, Obama. Just kidding.
Yes, there's no still. They're still blaming him. Thanks, Obama. Now I can't wipe my ass because Obama put tariffs in my toilet paper. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Brawny, dude. Comes from Canada, bro.
Oh my god.
They got tariffs on them too.
They fuck, dude. It's crazy, man. I don't know how people, especially like, if you like restaurants, like if you like living, I mean, shit. At this point,
The problem is these people would have to work on logic, and they
oh
don't.
yeah.
If they worked on logic, they wouldn't be doing literally any of the stuff they were doing right now. Like quite actually.
Yeah, no facts, hard facts.
No, that's true.
Thanks for coming into our TED Talk.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. And we just lost our 2 listeners.
Your dad's like liberal scum.
Hey, I say that's a good
liberals.
thing.
Yeah,
So how
for
do you let
sure.
minorities have the radio
Yeah,
waves?
we gotta get our own server up again.
Yeah, that's right.
BIPOC.
Only. Who man's is this?
That's That's so funky. You know, this reminds me of, and it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but when I was younger, walking into a certain grocery store, and this is taking me back to walking through those doors.
Interesting.
At that grocery store. It smelled like this.
I wonder why.
I wonder what it was. Produce.
The lighter fluid near the door.
Lighter fluid near next to the barbecue grill. It is from Central Valley. So
It was in Central Valley. It's definitely probably spoiling. Something spoiling.
Some spoiling, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a pigeon nest in the corner.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
I spent some time in San Bernardino. I spent like a weekend. Spent a weekend. It's fucking hot up there.
It's dumbass hot.
I was like, dude.
It's rural. Like, yeah.
Yeah, everything's. It's like Fresno in the sense that. Sorry, John. That everything's far apart from each other, and you gotta need a car.
You need a car
to get anywhere, to do anything. And it's just like I was like, oh, this is. It's all the same. It's all the same.
It's all
Everywhere
flat.
you go. Yeah,
It's all
flat.
brown.
Dirt.
There's always dirt in the air.
Hate.
Wild as fuck.
Spite.
Yep. It's hot and it's hostile.
Yeah.
Hot, hostile. And I think those two things really do play a huge parallel on each other.
It's a potent combination.
It is. It is. People get mad.
I'm miserable and I hate you.
And I'm hot. Of course, I'm gonna shoot your car now.
That's where you from.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh no, not again.
Yeah.
I just want to go out,
guys.
dude. Fuck. Tell me about it. All right, now we brought out a special little treat. Well, I should say, you were able to get us a special little treat. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
What did you get? You got the vial?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, is it up there?
Actually, can someone pull up a little bit of something on Joichi Takamine?
Sure.
'Cause I don't know his whole story like by heart, but it's definitely something to like
Jamie?
look into.
I got a laptop in my bag. She's drinking on the job again, folks. She's drinking on the job again. Oh, this is a good place for an intermission. Does anybody need to use the restroom to go pee? I'm trying to stage right. Super hydrated. Because I cannot be hungover tomorrow. I got to be up at 6.
Where are we drinking after this? Let's get it now.
After this,
I was like,
home.
Go home. Seriously. You want to drive to my home?
No, yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
Appreciate it.
So I'm trying to get faded.
I'm trying to get faded right now. Let's get
Damn,
it now.
bro.
I don't get hangovers, so I can get
That's
faded.
crazy.
You don't get hangovers? You're one of those people?
Yeah, I'm one of those people,
The
unfortunately.
crazy Captain America liver?
Yeah, pretty much.
Till it all goes south.
It's pretty cool. That is a superpower. You have poison resistance.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
bro.
Plus
It's
3
shitty.
poison
Plus three,
resist.
yeah.
I get it from my mother. My mother's the same way.
Got the enchantment.
So like we'll drink like a bottle or two of tequila and then wake up the next morning and like cook.
Crazy. My brother's like that. I'm like, I don't know how. Me and my brother killed a bottle of Kraken with a single liter of Coke between us and a bag of chips. And the next day I was hurt. He walks up, hey, I got you a 40. I'm like,
Dang. Like, let's keep it going.
How dare you?
I need meat and grease.
Yeah, no,
Like I need actual food.
and the
please.
Coca-Cola.
He needs Gold Club, fucking all you can eat.
Yeah, all you can eat fried chicken on Tuesdays.
Yeah. No.
Sponsor us, Gold Club.
I had a buddy come through and we got a handle of Jim Beam, and we drank that with like 3 Mexican Cokes. And the next day he was like, his wife called. She was like, he's dead. And I was like, I don't know what you're calling me for. It's also 6 a.m. Please go back to sleep. And then I was just like,
Fortunately, that sounds like a you problem.
Kept cooking.
He made
bacon.
it home, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did you get
He is
bacon,
there, is he not? He may have not made it past the front lawn, but he is still there. You're welcome. The sprinklers will come up.
That was literally me too.
Check his pulse, you sure?
I had to get put into a car and sent home.
You can't just put your finger on his nose. You gotta check his pulse.
Yeah, from the inside.
From the inside.
From the back.
It's rocking all right.
If he clenches, he's still sober.
Yeah. it's a reflex.
Oh,
the clench.
It's his wife.
The clench reflex.
That's cool, yeah.
They've been married for a long
Know where her
time.
fingers have been
Somebody
before.
knows.
Hey man, you were right.
It's familiar territory for her. I know you're a freak. Anyway. So-
Dirty Mike and the boys. This one's definitely going into the
this is
pre-game,
definitely going to the
mid-game.
pregame, yeah, for sure. All right, so what Dre just poured us was Takamine.
Takamine.
Joichi Takamine.
Yes. So the whiskey is called Takamine
Okay.
Koji whiskey. This one is 8 years old. So koji is used as part of its fermentation. There's kind of a little bit of how do I say, like a divide in the Japanese whiskey world between like koji whiskey and whiskey that's not fermented with koji. And I'm of two minds about it because there's a lot of producers of like shochu who are putting some of their shochu in barrels and then they'll sell it to the States as whiskey. Technically, it still fits the guidelines of being made from a cereal grain and bottled at 40% ABV. But the problem is that you can't always verify other distilleries if they're getting their whiskey from Japan, because other distilleries will buy like stuff from Scotland or America, bottle it in Japan, and then sell it as Japanese whiskey, which it's technically not. So there's kind of this more regulations right now are being put on Japanese whiskey, and it's and like so they can make sure that all of the products that they have are authentic.
I did read an article in Whiskey Advocate about like kind of like the vagueness of the guidelines in order for them to sell. I didn't know Nika from the Barrel was a blend.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I fucking love
It's
that
very
blend.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah, it's all
also
from
a
Scotland,
category.
right?
Yeah, there's a category called world blends where essentially Japan has usurped what Canada used to be as like the place for really good blends. So now they'll take blends from Canada, from Scotland, from America, and showcase their blending mastery. So Ichiro's like main line of his malt and grain is a world blend.
Yeah.
And people love that stuff. So
That
and it's
stuff
great.
is
It's great whiskey.
So
but,
expensive though. Fuck.
and then also you have koji, which is native to Japan, and part of my
smells
two minds of it
delicious.
is denying koji whiskey as a place at the whiskey table technically is the definition of white supremacy. This thing that is native to Japan and technically makes actual, real, authentic Japanese whiskey with ingredients that are native to Japan is not considered whiskey, whereas the type of whiskey that they have gotten from European countries is, right? And they hold that up as the only standard. That's quite literally white supremacy or European supremacy.
Yeah,
since
Eurocentric.
whiteness is a different
white
identity separate from that. But
Get what you're saying.
yeah.
You're picking up what you're putting down here. I mean, that's ridiculous, especially with this smell.
yeah, it's
Dude.
great. It's
God
great.
Damn.
That nose is insane.
It's crazy.
What do you think over there, audience member?
Delicious.
There we go.
So
See?
you
That's
telling
what
me
we got
that
it
this
for
was
the one-word answers.
produced in honor of Takamine?
Yes, so it has his name on it. It's done by Honkaku Spirits, which specializes in doing really nice shochus and things, and they wanted to do this koji whiskey to honor Joichi Takamine's legacy, who came to America, was a chemist who came to America in the early, I think, 18 or 1900s, and he made whiskey using koji, and he ended up making really delicious whiskey and learned that koji fermentation happened faster than the malting process. So he could make really good whiskeys faster than the bourbon producers of the time. He's also the person who isolated adrenaline, which is the reason why we have inhalers, and he gifted the cherry blossom trees to the White House or to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Dang.
Of course, we don't learn about him in history books, and it's they say his lab burned down, and I say it got burned down.
Yeah. Let's look at the facts.
Yeah,
here.
let's look at
You made something that makes something
you're not
faster.
American.
You've
You're not white. You make something just as good, if not better, than what we make, and you do it faster than us.
yeah.
You know,
Farmers, I'm sure, loved that.
You gotta go.
Yeah, barley producers.
But the koji is pretty unique in terms of whiskey because it can add a little bit of that savoriness. I'm getting just the hint of like almost like that soy sauce note hanging out in the back. I get a lot of like cinnamon, like persimmon, like brown sugar and things like that, and like chocolate on this one. This was when I first started working at Umami Mart. We were tasting a lot of sake and shochu, and it's a lot more delicate than whiskey. So I'm just like not getting and picking up as many tasting notes, and I'm like, yo, am I losing my touch? Like, what's going on here? And they bring in Takamine, and I remember Christopher Pellegrini. You guys should also listen to the Japan Distilled podcast. He runs that. Okay. And he came in to do a tasting with us, and
No
he
free
was like,
pub.
anybody.
That'll cost you at least $5. Christopher Pellegrini. We're finding you. I'm getting my $5 off you. Also, Distilled Japan. Also, check it out and give us a like too as well. Subscribe, like and subscribe. Tell them we sent you. Tell them it owes me $5. Anyway.
Absolutely. But he was just like, "Oh, anybody get any tasting notes from this?" And I was like, "Yes." Boom, 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 boom. Like, okay, so I'm not losing my touch.
You're like, I got it.
this.
You're like, I'm getting this, that,
But yeah,
this, that,
to
this.
use a nerdy term, it's very structured.
I can see what you mean by that. I feel like I'm entering like how do I say it? Like, I don't know. Some whiskeys, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm trying to figure it out. But it's just with this, I feel like I'm seeing a wall and things being built around different flavors.
Like a Great Wall.
Different region.
Yeah, wrong country, round eye.
Very far away.
Yeah.
Let me see it way over there.
You can see it from space, all right, guys? God.
Great.
Jesus, let's not talk it down, shall we?
You're right. That's true. That's true.
It's true. Yeah, but no, for sure.
Yeah, who's the asshole now?
Yeah, suckers. Fucking guy.
This stuff's good.
Dude, this stuff's good.
How good it is.
Damn, bro. This is the 8-year.
Correct.
Just the nose in general.
They came out with a Sakura cask that is, I think 7 years, and then it spends 1 year in these hybrid casks of like white oak and Sakura wood.
Wow.
And it picks up that nice, like, little bit of that sweet sort of cherry blossom.
I was surprised that the price point was cheaper on that one.
It is cheaper.
I was like, what?
It's a little bit less aged.
Oh, I see. Yeah, when you poured this for me at the tasting that we had at Umami Mart, Melissa and I went over to Umami Mart to go taste shochus first. And then we got into whiskeys because I was like, what's that? Oh, you have a keshi here? And then you poured this one and you told me the story and I was just like, holy shit. Like, that's completely different. It breaks the mold of how I thought and how I was, trained. Well, basically from the fucking notes that I've read. The limited notes that I've read about how it's produced and why you need to have barley for the enzyme to turn the starch into sugars so that way the yeast can consume it. And flipped it upside down, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" Yeah. So, like, what the fuck else can we do with koji? And then, of course, they've all figured most of it out. Yeah,
they do a lot.
Yeah, a lot, quite a bit, if you don't know. And that is when I was just like, dude, like, dumbfounded, like, what the fuck? Like, that's so crazy. Like, everything about Takamine in production, from what he's done as a person, was just like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like, I need to get more of that.
He's kind of a cool figure. Definitely check him out.
And this whiskey dedicated him.
Yeah.
And then we tasted some of the Akeshis too, right? You told me a story about that one. I wish we had one to taste.
Yeah, so Akeshi is a newer distillery that's in Hokkaido, specifically chosen because the climate there mimics that of Scotland, and they're using peat grown in Hokkaido. I didn't know until recently that, like, I think 6% of Hokkaido is peat bogs.
Really?
And they'll get their peat from Hokkaido.
What?
I've been told that the owner is, like, someone who has a lot of money in the Hokkaido dairy industry, which is dairy super huge in Hokkaido, so he's got a lot of money. And he opened this distillery where they essentially just do almost like one-offs. Like, they don't have any flagships. Not yet, anyways. They're doing a different whiskey for each of the 24 Japanese micro seasons.
Fuck.
And I don't know. I think once they're done with all of those, they'll do a flagship. But yeah, they release 3 whiskeys a year, 2 blends and a single malt, and they release them fall, winter, and that's it.
Damn. Yeah, no wonder they're $200-something though. I was like, damn. Because I remember seeing in Berkeley Bull, and I was like, what the hell demands a price point for that? And then we went.
A guy who doesn't care about if you buy it or not.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm getting Hokkaido milk money, baby.
Yep, exactly.
Hokkaido
tangent. Milk money.
Yeah, Hokkaido milk money. Damn, that's a
that's a good band name.
Band, T-shirt, everything.
T-shirts, yeah.
Hokkaido milk.
That's a Hokkaido Milk Money TM. Fucking come at us.
Patent pending.
Anyone have $125 on them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
buy our album.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel free to subscribe to our Patreon so we can TM that.
What kind of music are we making?
Spoilers: there is no album.
Yeah. $1, $5, $10 a month.
I gotta make it. I gotta make it on Audacity.com.
Yeah, 20 gets you feed pics.
But
just toes.
the Hokkaido milk industry, dude. It's like I went to when we were in Seattle when Chan came up. We went to a creamery, not a creamery, but an ice cream shop. So I guess creamery that had Hokkaido milk.
Oh, that's what you call your bedroom.
Yeah, I call it the Hokkaido milk factory is what I call that one. Extra rich, full fat, even. Yeah, that's how
heavy cream.
That's how you have. That's why you. That's how you have a baby on the way, baby. That's how you get one.
How the straw just stands in the middle of the cup.
It's like that. It's like that Quickie Mart slushy. You know what I mean?
I'll just stay silent for this one.
Best choice. Best choice
right there.
There you go.
Fast Food's got nothing on that.
But yeah, thank you for that tasting, by the way. That shit was awesome as fuck.
Completely veered us left. You're like in mid thought.
I was like, I gotta get out of this. We
gotta do something.
Evasive maneuvers.
Mid thought, we just veered, and you're just like, all right, well, we're done now. See you later, guys. There he goes. You just saw 34 episodes and condensed it pretty much. 75 seconds of pure.
See why we're trying to veer into a professional environment.
Yeah. This is not for children, unfortunately.
No,
this is why we make no money.
Better not bring your kids.
And he still doesn't put his age restriction on.
Don't put
YouTube.
it on the car. It's not for the family drive.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to make a censor.
This is for your after work drinking hours.
Yeah.
When you want some company but don't want any company.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like that. I do want that sometimes. That's exactly what it's for.
That was delicious, though. Thank you very much for getting us some of that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fuck.
Yeah.
I just bought the bottle.
How much is the bottle?
We sell it.
$125.
Yeah, $125.
For the 8
we can split that.
We can split it.
You might say she's in.
If we're gonna split it, we should probably get Spencer involved.
Oh.
He's gonna want to get some of that.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't think you like it?
No, I think.
No, he just brings to taste things.
There are sometimes he'll drop like he dropped off that.
He brought Hakushu 12 in.
Yeah, he brought
It's
Hakushu
$200
12 in.
now. It's like fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, he bought that.
$250.
Yep.
Oh, that Scottish. What is that Scottish
Never
distillery?
Drink it again.
Nah. There's other stuff.
Springbank.
It's-
Yeah,
well,
the one Scottish. Yeah, he brought in
in
that
the realm of
Springbank,
Hakushu
what 16 or whatever. And
what
he
would
was
you
just like, I don't
what
like
would you
it.
recommend? Something similar in that flavor, that build.
Off the top of my head, like grab some Highland Park, son. Like it's
Yeah.
smoking fruit. Like,
Yeah, that's
you
a
can
good
find
pick.
a dozen.
I do
scotches that
enjoy
have,
12.
Or you
12
can
years.
just eat a mango and smoke a cigarette.
You totally could. You could.
That's what I call lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For
That's the
breakfast, we
original-
do something
that's the
cool,
ori-
like smoke a cigarette and eat a mango.
Yeah, it's the original low-calorie diet, folks.
Yeah,
Back in
damn.
1973.
It's
Or
like a
in
house
the morning, coffee and a cigarette. In the afternoon, whiskey and a cigarette.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Get that smoke.
And then eat a whole
Cigar.
pineapple.
During COVID,
Some grapefruit.
yeah, I would buy cigars from. I'd go do
Little
my
bit of
trip
sugar on
to Total Wine, hit the cigar room, and then hit the Scotch, and then just sit up on the balcony and just watch people wander around.
Hey.
And that was when 2020, so shit was popping out here.
Mhm.
So I was just like, damn, that's crazy. They really tried to rob that jewelry store right now. That shit was crazy, bro. Yeah. So,
Doesn't Chinatown?
how did you get? Yeah, in Chinatown, it was crazy, bro. I have videos. I'll show you.
All right.
How did you get from SB to here?
Patreon.com/localdrunkspod.
So I went to school in Humboldt County.
Oh shit.
Met a good friend of mine up there who's from Oakland, born and raised. And just one Thanksgiving break, he was like, "You want to come spend it with my family?" And like as soon as came down here, as soon as I got out the car, I was like, "Oh, I like this place." And then after getting closer towards the end of college, his dad was like, "So what are you gonna do?" And I was like, It was like, "You want to come stay with us? We got a spare room." And I was like, "Sure do."
Sick.
So
That's
yeah,
hella sick.
yeah,
That's
they helped me get on my feet out here. So
Damn good looking
much
family.
love to them for sure.
What'd you study at Humboldt?
Marketing and critical race theory and sexuality.
Oh shit. So everything that's
The
getting
two things that are in opposite lanes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
There's a whole portion of this country that does not know the term critical race theory.
Oh, they know it.
There's a
They know it
whole
from
portion
Fox
of this
News.
country who just hates black people and are afraid to say it.
There we go.
Well,
The whole DEI thing
if
is like,
you
no,
wanna
just
cut to
say
the
you don't
chase.
like people of color. Just
Yeah.
be a proud racist, please. Like, stop all this like weak nonsense.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. I was like,
Like, be brave enough to admit that you are racist.
right. I'm like, just come out
But
with
they
it.
still need to hold on to the veneer that they're good people. And it's like that whole cognitive dissonance of, I think I'm a good person, but you also spread hate.
Yeah. Right.
Your
right.
moral compass is completely in the gutter.
Yeah.
But you still need to keep up your own mental veneer of being a good person.
I'm
And
a
a
good
racist
person.
is a bad person by textual definition, even though they're doing textbook racist things.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like my grandma.
You know, we all got them in the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly. I was like, what you mean?
Where you get that from?
What do you mean racism's
That
dead,
ain't-
Grandma? That was,
Ain't your words.
This is a true statement. This is a true statement. Racism's over. And I was like, oh,
Like, Grandma, what?
I'm sorry. Where have you been living? Florida? And I was like, oh my god.
Grandma.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, because you're surrounded by fucking white people.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna think it's gonna be dope.
Uh,
Anyway, we digress. Beautiful tastings. Anything you want to revisit?
All of it. But
the bottles are yours. They
yeah.
are here.
What's
We'll
that?
have a.
Run it back. All right, here we go.
Buddy.
Round
She
one.
goes, I'm up all night. Fuck it. Let's do this. No, that was good though. No, thank you very much for
Yeah.
breaking all those down for us. Thank you for helping cooks pick these things.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
For following through, even. That's rare
yeah.
these days,
Oh.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
seriously.
I was
Y'all
like,
supplied
oh, hell
everything,
yeah.
so
A lot of people
all I had to do
say.
was I didn't even have to show up. Y'all came and got me.
Hey, man.
Yeah, seriously.
We're trying to
yeah.
make it as easy as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
No, you know when you
Appreciate
come to ring that doorbell? At least 5 minutes straight. I know you in there. Come out. Like,
I'm
oh,
scared.
no.
You ever see Scott Pilgrim where he like jumps out the window?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Dude, what a great movie.
And we don't know if that guy is a minority or white passing. But no one, everyone close the shutters.
Just in case, you gotta be safe.
Just in case, yeah. Yeah. He's just a little bit too nice for the neighborhood, yeah.
We're good people.
Yeah, that guy is
back
not-
in my canvassing days, we were like trying to flag people down. I was in the marina trying to get people to talk about like social justice stuff. And this one guy just walks past me. He's in sunglasses. He's in a suit. He walks past me, stops, and then leans back and he's like, we're all good people here. All lives matter. And I was like,
Oh no.
That's where you want to get socked up. That's where you just want his hands put on you.
This was in, what, 2018?
That's ridiculous.
That sounds about white.
2016, 2017?
They would say some shit down there in the arena.
Probably 2016.
Yeah, for sure.
I was fresh out of college.
That's the place to say stuff like that. Like, you know, it's just like they all think we're all safe here. It's all
like,
good.
you sure are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly,
The
bro.
rest of us are not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, fuck them. Crazy ass motherfuckers. But yeah, thank you for coming through.
Thanks for following through. There's a lot of people who were like, put me on the pod, and they never follow up. So thank you very much.
Yeah. And like getting this education, phenomenal.
Yeah.
We got to come back and do some show choose, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
That'll
'Cause
be
those
another
things are
round.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Where
No,
do
if you're in the
Not too much. Similar.
Similar?
Yeah.
yeah, if you're in the area, off of Broadway
Yeah.
and
40th and Broadway.
40th, Umami Mart, they close early.
Yes.
Yeah, get there early.
Jesus, they
Make
Close
it
at 7.
early.
Make it a brunch date.
Yep.
Yeah, get there early.
Pre-game
Stay
with us.
long.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't knock any paintings off the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Please.
Yep.
Shit's expensive.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
guys got Kimura glass, bro.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah, we do.
shit.
yeah. Follow them on Instagram.
Do you want to put it? Do you want to plug your personal? I don't know if you answer that kind of thing. Yeah,
I'm good.
I feel that. I feel that 100%.
yeah.
That's why I keep it. In
Dre Loves Saké, onlyfans.com/Dre Loves Saké. Yeah, there we
Sake,
go.
the sake king.
Kawaii. Anyway, so yeah.
How did you? How did you end up getting like into the position that you're in? Because you're a sake advisor,
Stretching.
and like
Can you keep going?
Yeah.
there you go. And then like and then what do you do the purchasing for?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mostly I press all the buttons that gets all the nice things on our shelves.
Cool.
Yeah. Just working there, learning about sake, and
Okay.
just
So hard
off
work.
getting off of the the position after a while.
Okay.
So how did you get
put
into
in-
the industry?
I worked at Cask.
No
Yeah.
way.
So yeah,
Great
I
story.
was working at a hat shop, Gorin Brothers in Berkeley.
Oh shit!
And then I
I know that
remember
place.
like I wanted to get a second job because I had just quit my shite job at the hardware store, and then Cass was down the street, and I was like, oh yeah, I'd still want to do something involving alcohol, and applied there, and got called back like a day later.
Damn,
On college?
Yeah.
Yes.
that's a good job. I like that job
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Like we mentioned earlier, they just reopened their they reopened their tasting
Yeah, the
area.
tap room. Yeah.
Oh,
The
really?
Tap room like last fall or
Is
something.
that what they had blocked off that whole time?
Yeah.
Oh
Back when
shit!
I was there.
Well, that makes more sense now. I was like, what is all this space?
Oh right, there's whole people who just don't even know what that was.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I've never seen it in use. I've never
Yeah,
seen it
it
in use.
used to be a pretty poppin' tap room. And,
Holy shit! Well, now we know.
Is that the
That's a
shop
trip.
that we did a single barrel for? Cask, right?
No, we did craft.
Craft.
That was
sorry.
in Alameda, right?
Alameda, yeah.
Yeah.
Craft, sorry.
We did a single barrel release for craft in Alameda.
Cool.
I don't know if I tried it yet. I have a bottle, a little. Oh yeah, that's right. Cut this part out. Anyway, DeAndré, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. That didn't happen. Take it all back. Oh my god.
I'm like, do I let
put
him
in the
just keep
bleeps.
burying himself?
Yeah.
Or do we, I'll beep
No,
it out.
don't
It's
pull
fine.
me out of this
Yeah.
mud. I
It's
don't remember
fucking,
any
sir, you
stories.
you never pull out. Anyway. So,
Apparently not. It's like a kid on the lip.
Hope my audio was all right.
yeah, no, it was good.
So, if not, he can turn
But
it
yeah.
post.
So anyway, check us out. If you haven't liked us yet, like and subscribe on youtube.com/
Local Drunks Pod.
There we go. See, there he is. It's been a little while. Sorry, guys.
I'm rusty. We're rusty.
We're a little rusty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram.com or X or TikTok or
Tiki-tokis.
Snapchat.
For all us always dances,
Yeah.
including alcohol.
Yeah. If you want to see a light-skinned
He just-
Latino and a
just
white guy dancing
belligerently
in front
drunk. I
of,
just imagine like David Hasselhoff and you're in your room slashing around. That's TikTok for you.
what the fuck?
You don't picture that? I think it'd be great. I think it'd be fantastic. We'd have a phenomenal following.
We actually probably would.
I mean, it's just like what we do here.
Yeah. If you feel like sliding in some change to keep this thing running, patreon.com/
Local Drunks Pod.
$1, $5, $10. $1 gets you the episode 24 hours early. $5 gets you special behind-the-scenes stuff, and also this little show that we call the pregame, which we record for about 15 to 30 minutes before each episode, and that goes straight to the Patreon. And then also $10 gets you a hearty handshake if we ever see you.
Yeah, if we ever see you.
If you're in the area, we've made a bunch of lists of bars to go to in the East Bay and also in the city itself, broken down by area because the city is a very large, very friendly place to drink.
some
it's
places.
alcoholic, not some places. It's alcoholic friendly, I should say. So there's a lot of little small neighborhoods with tons of places to drink. So hit us up, localdrunkspod@gmail.com, and we could send you those maps.
Yeah.
to
We also
help
have
you
one in
kinda bounce
Taiwan
around.
and Seattle now as
We
well.
have one in Taiwan and Seattle as
We'll
well.
do the traveling version.
Check out our TikTok because I did 48 hours in Seattle. We're hit 35 spots in 48 hours.
Bank cut him off.
Still drunk. Yeah, bank cut me off. I could not buy any more alcohol. So I hit like
It's a true
7
story, man.
bars in 2 hours, and they're just like, "Nope, this shit got stolen."
Yeah.
And it
Good
did
on your
not.
bank, though.
Yeah, no,
Staying
in
on
all
top of
honesty, I blinked and I was at the hotel, and I'm like, "Why am I here? Oh fuck, I should probably stay here." Yeah. But that'll be the TikTok. Actually, that's the format we're gonna go with, just because it's the easiest. So check out that soon. And thank you very much, Dre. This was very informative, and we'd love to have you back to talk about shochus, and also just get a lineup of whiskeys. And then it'd be kind of cool too, because you are very you do have a wealth of knowledge on Japanese whiskeys in general. So it'd be kind of cool to have you come out for like a Thirsty Thursday and crack some
probably do
Japanese
something
whiskeys
like
and talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot less pretentious version of Thirsty Thursday. But yeah,
no marina,
very nice.
but-
Yeah, you know, we're all safe here.
We're all good people.
We all matter. Anyway, all right, guys, thanks very much. And yeah, wherever you're at, leave us a review. 5 stars preferably, but if you say 1 star, then say it with some meaning. Yeah, just rate us in general, please. We beg you. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Local Drunks Podcast. Tune in next week to hear more about what we drank, ate, and what belligerent things we got into. Until then, sip something nice.